Welcome to Artist Diaries, Art4you podcast, where we bring the stories of the creatives and artists from across the globe. Today we are in conversation with Phil Colman. Hi Phil, how are you doing?
Great, thank you, Jesno. Nice to see you.
Okay, nice to have you here. So
Thank
Phil,
you.
can you say about your background and how your art has influenced you?
Sure, yeah. So I grew up mainly in London, but I've lived in various countries. I've lived in Spain,
Okay.
in Bali, in Vietnam, short intermittent times. I'm now based in Dubai full time.
Okay.
My parents are mixed, let's say. My father is Irish, and my mother was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Okay.
But both immigrated to the UK in their sort of mid-teens, and
Good to know.
yeah, that's given me, I think, kind of international DNA, a lot of travel growing up as well as a family, particularly through my father's work, and I think that's definitely shaped my art as it's always been, not just today.
Okay.
So yeah, there's significant places that I've traveled to from a very young age, such as South America, such as New York, and even Dubai. I was in Dubai in 1988, and I think these experiences they don't necessarily make you create something as a result of being there, but years later you bring them up, and
Yes.
whether it's perhaps Arabic geometry or American street art, these influences stay in your mind, and images
That's
turn
wonderful.
into part of your art.
Good to know. And I think you're a frequent traveler as well.
Yeah, I think it's very important to travel. I have always prioritized it throughout my adult life.
Okay.
And like I said, if there's been opportunities and if there's been pathways, whether it's through business, work, art, or, just visits,
Anything, yes.
I would
You
always
love it.
go out on a limb to
Good.
make those journeys. And yeah, I think
It's
they're very
important.
important for later in life.
Yes.
And it's a gift we have. It's something
Yeah.
that, we have a freedom that we're able to do, and doesn't always cost the earth either.
So, at what age did you start your painting and drawing?
So, I mean, I think as far back as I can remember, maybe to the age of 4 or 5,
Okay.
in my first school years, I was definitely drawing. And I think, given my generation, perhaps where I grew up as well, we just made a lot of things.
Okay.
So craft became something that
A
was
part of your life.
part of playing and part of
Yes.
our life. You
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily go and buy something. If you wanted to, sword fight with your friends in the street, you made those things. Or, the same with crazes
Yes.
such as BMXing. We made
So,
all of our
yeah, you
ramps.
grow with
and
that.
Yeah, so I think really that came from my mother. She still to this day, makes beautiful things from fabrics.
Wow.
She also paints. She exhibited
Okay.
recently. So I think it was just in me from, I'm going to say day one.
Yes. From blood. You got
Perhaps,
it,
yeah.
yes.
I think it's in a lot of people, actually.
Yes.
But we had the outlet, we had the ability to do that. I had some very, very good teachers at school
Yeah.
that I bonded with, and they happened to be the art teachers. And, just very encouraging when it came to
Okay.
expressing yourself.
Yeah, I think this is for commonly for every artist. I think most of them I've heard also, they just grow up with the art, especially that get trained by the parents itself. And then whoever is there, especially if I say for me,
Yeah.
even my first educator, I still remember him who has taught me how to use the brush, and watercolor.
this is really
This is
significant.
something which you cannot, forget.
Yeah, it's very true. And I think
And it's very prominent also. We have their styles. We don't forget what they teach us.
no,
That's something
I think it's interesting that they also spot it within specific
time period.
pupils or children as well. I
Yes.
know that perhaps I wasn't, good at other subjects like maths and things.
Okay.
But I remember the art teacher telling my parents,
Yes.
like, you've got to let him draw. Like,
Those were our favorite
encourage them.
teachers.
For sure, yeah. But I think they were very different. Their mindsets
Yes,
were extremely
yes.
different in the
Yeah.
experiences I had. And the grades were better.
True. See, I have seen your artwork. When I saw it first time, I also asked you the same question about your polygonal style that you've used. So, could you say about it?
Yeah, well, it's come about through experiment, really. And I'll be quite honest, it really came about from not being able to paint
Oh,
realistic
really?
portraits.
Okay.
I really struggle, particularly with some commissions that I was appointed.
But you do amazing works, and it's we can't say that it's just by
No, but
accident.
if we rewind around 4 or 5 years ago, I was commissioned to paint a client,
Okay.
and also on the back of that, they also wanted their pets, their prize German Shepherds painted.
Okay.
And I simply couldn't. I mean, I spent nearly 100 hours going hair by hair and researching eyes and looking for a photorealistic
So
style.
you mean this is a style that you put it across to create your portraits, which seems to be much easier than the realism?
No, I would say I've made it a lot more technical. I'd say
Yes,
I've
because
made it
it's so
10 times
tough.
more, especially, if you were to use a projector or trace a lot more now.
Yeah.
What I've done is I stripped back the elements of portraiture, and I really put myself through
Because
like
it
a lot of
seems to
pain.
be very geometrical, and you have to be very calculative in those shapes and shadows and lights.
Definitely.
Playing with that, it's very tough, I felt.
Especially painting
Yeah.
a pet that
Right.
might have a specific glint in their eye,
Yes.
or when it looks a certain way, or when its expression, its tongue is there. That was very challenging. But I played with shapes. I played
Okay.
with almost like pixelation in order to break down a portrait and a photograph and make a tone map. And from
Okay.
the tone maps, I was able to build up, something that almost when you squint your eyes, okay, it's like a photo. But I would say from years of refining that and failing,
Yeah.
these pieces are like broken and together at the same time now. From only a couple of meters, some of the pieces now look like photos. And I've been able to finally learn. I wouldn't say master, please don't get me wrong.
No,
but I've
but
finally
still.
learned how to paint eyes properly.
Yeah.
And I've learned noses and ears. So I'm starting to work that into the geometry and have a blend of both.
Yeah.
And that's been really liberating. But I promise you, I mean,
Yeah, it is different
A long
because
journey.
I've seen a lot of fragmented styles that different kind of artists use, but this is something unique, It's like more of a glass prism kind of, effects that you produce. It's very
shattered.
Yes, it's like that. But it's beautiful. It doesn't show that, you have did a lot of struggle on it,
It's
like
pure
like a
struggle.
masterpiece, of course. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, some pieces have taken me months, literally, let's say 100 hours of painting, which,
Okay.
let's face it, in the real world, if you're painting 4 or 5 hours a day, a week,
Yeah.
you're lucky on the same
Right.
piece. You've got a freedom and you've got good time and focus. So in some cases, they've taken so long. But the reward of finishing and then, in my opinion, unlocking
Yeah.
the next painting
Yes.
or learning so much that you're already 2 or 3 paintings ahead in your mind, that's been amazing. And I've got to say, going back to travel, living here, being based here, I've now, I guess, caught up a bit more with the artistic pace that I think is more relevant in Dubai.
yeah,
I
yes.
can't produce 1 or 2 pieces a month.
Oh, really?
It will be
It's tough.
very slow. So I've worked on being a lot more loose with my art since arriving here. I've learned to build up a lot more texture behind the pieces because we're surrounded by interesting texture here and Arabic influence,
Yes.
calligraphy, beautiful architecture, really.
Yeah.
Not what the stereotype people think of Dubai at all. But when you really look, there's some incredible surfaces and things.
true.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So but in polygonal style, I have seen you working most of the animals and women-oriented works. Wonderful works. I
Yeah,
have to compliment it. It's amazing.
Thank you, Jesno. Thank you. Yeah, I would say it started with animals because of
Yes,
commissions.
yes, I saw.
And that was the most challenging part, definitely. Again, going back to people's prized pets.
Yes.
Then I moved on to, I guess, subjects that would not complain so much. So they might
Yeah.
be images of icons or Hollywood.
Okay, anything. So now you don't do those style, you mean, or you just do only for commission?
No, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm just in a way in a
Little
stage
bit of-
now where I'm starting to blend a lot of different styles together.
Okay.
Particularly like work that you have seen in person, for example, where it's just pure calligraphy or it's just pure geometric shapes.
Okay.
I'm now starting to want to rework that with
On
portraiture.
the Arabic culture and heritage you're bringing onto it.
Just to fuse a lot of things.
Fusion,
and I don't think I'm satisfied enough with respect to every artist out there, I don't want to just do things that I can also see other people producing.
Okay.
I want to push the boundaries.
Something different.
Definitely.
Yes.
It might not be for everyone. It certainly isn't going
Yes.
to, like,
Right.
make everybody happy. That's one thing I think as artists we have to accept.
Correct.
We might love our
Right.
work,
Yes.
but not everyone will.
Correct.
But,
True. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's on a direction
Yeah.
into portraiture, but I think a different level of it now.
Yes.
And I'm really hoping a different technical,
Things
kind
will
of
come up. Yeah.
ability and speed to the work.
Yeah, that you will go on. Don't worry. This are all experimenting period, right? So we
Yeah.
can still have time to do it as well.
And I think
You're
us as artists, we have to produce work.
Work.
Getting stuck on a painting, or even writers and filmmakers or musicians. It's the
Yeah,
same thing.
everything,
Getting
yes,
that block
yes,
is
yes.
real, and I think if you just keep going and you keep your momentum up, that's how you progress, and that's how you get to that style.
Right. That was a wonderful message because people are actually trying a lot of things. What I have seen is like there are artists who are still experimenting, even if they are experienced, they are
Yes.
still doing a lot of things. And when you told me that point, I have a very, very pioneer artist who have spoken to me when I asked him about working, and he always tells that I'm every day experimenting things every
Yeah,
day,
that's
and you feel that he is on the top of the level, but still he admits that I'm still a learner,
Oh, I
which
think,
is
yeah.
which is
I think we
many
all are.
artists don't accept that, and I'm gone through a lot of artists. So I actually want to give a big round of applause for you because you're saying that you're still doing it,
I deserve that.
even if your level is and standard of your work is higher. There are artists who are just started, maybe they're just hobby painters and things like that. What I see is that they don't try to admit even their mistakes, or they don't try to learn. If you say that this is something which you have to work on, I used to get responses as a curator
Yes.
that I purposefully did this.
In terms of making a mistake?
Yes,
or-
yes.
Okay.
So that means they're not ready to admit. But I've seen you already have spoken to me as an artist earlier, when before curating your show. There is one thing which I liked in you is that you always used to say that, see, just so this I didn't like it, so I'm going to change it,
Yeah.
So this particular thing artist needs, every artist, they have to admit, that I'm here, your level, where you are. Even if you're a high level artist, still you need to be humble to say that, yes, this is what I'm learning.
Yeah, thank you. I had to be very honest in that particular scenario
Yes.
because I think in most cases you can make that work because you've
Of course, they
just to
will not
survive
say
off
no.
art
Yeah.
and nothing else. Yeah.
That's
it's always
okay.
been
That's all
significant.
experiences. After all, it's a
Yeah.
learning time.
And I would say the piece I produced here in Dubai goes into like a top 5 significant artworks that I've made, where suddenly a new direction
Yes.
is carved. And like I said, I might come back to where I was before,
Yeah.
but I
But
never.
you still have the geometry everywhere.
Yeah.
That
Don't
is
take
still
away from that.
connected,
Yeah, but it's a
Yes.
very loose painting.
Yes.
There's no tension in that.
Yeah.
It was literally vroom
Flowing.
and almost like surrendering. In
But
a
it
way.
was a very good piece. I have
Thank
to
you,
say.
thank you.
It's something-
For me, it was a very
something
significant,
unique,
powerful piece.